Hello, this is Dr. David Montague, and this video is in connection with Milestone 4, uh, and I will try to be brief. Again, you have written instructions that mirror what I'm saying on this video already in Blackboard, but I just want to make sure you actually have a verbal explanation, and I might add a couple of points here and there that might help you as well. So you have both written and this video, and this should be the final milestone for you. It is the final milestone for the course. Um, the goal of milestone 4 is to provide appropriate notes corresponding to the policy capstone component guidelines document that has been made available to the class. It's in Blackboard. So that as the student moves beyond this particular course, they will have the tools to complete the capstone in the following semester. So in other words, in terms of the purpose of this milestone, the milestone enables you as the student to use the materials that you've created in milestones 1 through 3 in order to create a set of notes which should help you move beyond this course in completing a real policy evaluation of a law or regulation that you selected in the previous milestone based on the other stepping stones that I've asked you to do. The policy capstone component guidelines document found within the module will serve as a guidepost to incorporate your milestone materials in as you figure out how to expand your work so far in more depth after this course is finished. So at the completion of this milestone, you as the student will provide the notes that you've actually created using the policy capstone guidelines sections as a template. And then in this case, for this milestone, use of proper citation will be important. So that's something to keep in mind. In terms of the specific tasks that you're going to do, there are several, so please pay careful attention to them. First, within the module, carefully review the policy capstone component guidelines document. Please pay attention to the details that explain the function of each particular section. So look to see what they're about, what they really entail. Try to get some understanding for yourself. They're not complicated descriptions, but it's really important for you to think carefully about what they mean. All right. Now, I want you to then create a document that you can type into and simply copy, meaning like open a Microsoft Word document, for instance, and copy and paste the policy capstone component guidelines sections into that document. So simply just copy the whole thing and just paste it into a document. Of course, put your name and information at the top, so therefore your document will stand out against some other student's document when I'm looking at them. And that gives you a template to work on, so you can actually write within that, and that's what I want you to do. So using the narrative document that you created during milestone 1, you are going to incorporate the material from that narrative that you think is relevant to the sections on the component guidelines on the template there, for the sections called Introduction and Problem Statement. Again, Introduction and Problem Statement. So, look at that narrative that you created and think about what from that document can go in there to help start building this document up. Okay. Then the next step is using the law or regulation that you identified and uploaded in milestone number 2. I want you to incorporate the material from that narrative that you wrote to go along with that law or regulation. Incorporate that material from that narrative into the section called Policy, and then the section called Means. And I want you to think about looking at the descriptions of what policy and what the means section looks like in the component guidelines. Find what about your narrative fits best in one of those sections. And you just put the appropriate portions from each from the narrative into where you think they fit best. And again, it's not hard. You just have to read it and try to make sense of what it's asking you. Okay. And then the next thing I want you to do is using the open source documents that you identified and uploaded during milestone number 3. I want you to incorporate the material for that narrative that you created into the sections called background of the problem. Into the background of the problem section, just that one section. So just the narrative portions in there about why you think those documents are relative. Look at the description about background of the problem and fit some of that material in there. So please note that you will need to provide appropriate citation for this particular step. So you found some sources and you're talking about the background of the problem. You're going to have some narrative, but you're also going to have to provide citation. APA format's preferred. It's the easiest to use. Just make sure that you do it correctly, and you will then see that this document's starting to build and build and build a little bit, and that gives you a real help as you move forward to try to analyze or do a real public policy evaluation. But again, you're not starting from scratch. You've already identified something. You've already picked in terms of an issue. You've already found a policy that you want to look at, and you've already begun the process of finding documents toward that end. So this is really good, and this will help you as you move forward into the next course to make things easier for you. I almost forgot one thing. So you've done that portion about the background of the problem and the other sections. After you have filled in as much as you can into the document that you've created now, please upload that document as a PDF and be sure that, again, that you have made the document identifiers so that I know it's yours. Don't submit anything that doesn't have your information on it, what course you're in, that type of thing anyway. So after you've done that, started filling things in, I want you to save it as a PDF and upload it into where it says submit for milestone number 4. And then after you've done that whole process of creating these different sections, you're going to create one more document. Okay. And that is a short narrative of no more than 1 page that it provides any comments for me to learn from you or questions that you have about having attempted to apply your previous efforts in the milestones from 1 through 3 into the component guidelines, which is for milestone 4. And this allows me to give you feedback to help you understand how and why this all works together even more. But I have a feeling that after following these steps, you're going to really get a much clearer sense of how you can transform this shell, this template, if you will, into something much bigger in terms of a real policy evaluation. That's what the professionals do. So this is as clear as I can get it for you, and I've been dealing with these for a very long time. So again, remember, this milestone is designed to give each student a head start, and more importantly to me is for you to have a greater level of comfort in completing a real policy evaluation. And I will have you know that several students who've come before you in this course have picked some very fascinating topics. I've had a warden of a prison who actually looked at the classification of inmates when they first arrive within the Department of Correction, and he was looking at how they can improve that process and whether the policy guidelines were adequate enough to really address that. I've had a lot of different applications of on different issues. So again, this is your chance to find something that you have a passion about, and at the end of this module, you will have put together all the, I'll say, baby steps, even though it might not seem like little teeny steps to you. They're actually very important ones. And the final thing I'll say about it is, remember, in a course like this, the sad reality is that most people that either create public policy or implement public policy, um, unfortunately, have never taken a formal course in public policy, which is a shame because it means that they are doing something day in and day out without knowing all of the details. Well, not all, but I mean a whole lot of the detail associated with how and why certain things are effective or not effective, just more beyond their just experience at doing the job. So we want to maximize the ability for students to take from this course a means to be able to help people in the real world. So with that, that is it for milestone number 4. And again, you do have the written instructions as well already within the module. Thank you.